Greetings and welcome. My name is Carl Schumacher and I work with SALT. And what I want to do in this series of videos is to introduce you to what learning experiences are, since they're a very key component of what you'll be doing if you're a student or if you're one of the mentors, so that you can understand what your student is actually trying to do. And so to do that, I'm going to give you an overview and define some terms just so that you have familiarity with what's going on. So let me share my screen. And the first thing I want to introduce is the idea of three things. There are character outcomes, there are competencies, and there are learning experiences. So you can see here that we say there are 8 character outcomes, 7 of which are necessary for graduation, and an 8th one allows for specialties to take place. So a character outcome is a very broad area that we want the students to be competent in. So for example, you can see one is maturing disciple maker. The second one is a biblically rooted disciple. The third one is theologically relevant Christian thinker. Fourth is a historically aware biblical leader. 5 is a contextually effective practitioner. 6 is a healthy team contributor. And 7th is a considerate community member. Now, the purpose of these is if we're looking for the ideal graduate, what aspects should they have? And we said they need to have these 7 broad areas be competent in and show that they can master these areas so that they will be an effective minister of the gospel in their context. Now you'll notice that within each character outcome, there are 3 competencies. And I'm not going to go through each of the competencies. I just want you to be aware of that. These competencies then are tied to learning experiences. Okay, and so when we look at this competency, when we look at character outcome number 1, maturing disciple maker, there are 3 competencies: a spiritual formation, spiritual multiplication, and spiritual impact in society. So you'll want to remember that as we look at this next document. So here we are. We said that we're looking at the character outcome, which is a maturing disciple maker. And then we also said that there are competencies, and you'll see that here. Here's competency number 1. And for that person to show mastery in the competency, they have to accomplish these learning experiences. If they're a BA, MA student, then they will have these BA requirements that they will need to do. On this right side is how they will flesh out that learning experience. So this learning experience includes reading a book by Jerry Bridges, reflecting on what they've read, then writing a reflective paper, and then they have a meeting with their mentor to discuss the actual contents of the book. That's on the BA side. If they are a MA student, then they don't have those BA requirements, and they would jump to this very first one here, is making a life map and connecting it to their identity in Christ. And again, here's all the work on the right that they need to do. They would need to do what's in Pathright, read through that and understand it. Then they would make an actual life map. And from that life map, they would then study their identity in Christ. And once they do that, they would then write a SMART plan on how to move from who they are as seen in their life map to actually who God sees them in their identity in Christ. And so this pattern will be repeated throughout all 7 character outcomes. And so what I am going to do in this next series of videos is go through just the learning experience part. I won't go through the character outcome nor the competencies, but I want to explain to you each of the learning experiences so you can have clarity as a student what you're getting yourself into, and for mentors that you know what your students are doing. So again, I hope this has been helpful to you. My desire is to give you enough information that you have clarity and not so much that it overwhelms you. Thanks.